Okay, so yesterday I did a story about how YouTube is increasingly destroying independent news and politics channels. And I explained to you that YouTube is increasingly prioritizing basically just what makes them money by keeping advertisers happy. And since September, that has not been independent content like ours. It's been instead this legacy corporate content. And I went through yesterday in much more detail than I will do today how our portion of videos that come from what is called the suggested video feed on YouTube, it's an algorithm that says, oh, you watched this piece of video, here's other stuff you might like. We used to get a third of our views from that suggested video algorithm. That has fallen basically by 50% to under 17% so far in June. This, maybe it seems like a lot, maybe it doesn't, but as I said yesterday, this is about half of what we were once getting from this algorithm. And this decline started right after YouTube announced that in an effort to crack down on fake news, which may well be a good faith effort, they are going to back what they consider authoritative sources. And that has coincided, coincidence, right, with the decline from 33% of our views coming from the suggested view sources to under 17%. And this is a massive blow to our revenue because it represents a lot of views. I mentioned yesterday, and I'm just getting you up to speed before I give you the new info about how this is much worse than even I thought. In December, we got 3.5 million views just from the suggested video feed. In June, we will be lucky to get 1.5 million views. That's a 2 million view shortfall, which is a huge revenue shortfall, very, very big. I can't tell you how much revenue that is, but if you Google YouTube CPMs, you could probably calculate it for yourselves. And I received a flood of emails yesterday telling me just how bad it is, and it's actually even worse than I thought. I want to remind you, Alexander wrote to me last week or the week before, and he told me something that's really odd, which was that he had never watched anything by Joe Rogan on YouTube before. And then I was on Joe Rogan's program on June 5th, and Alexander watched one video on Joe Rogan's channel, my interview with Joe, and the next day, every single recommended video was a Joe Rogan video, despite Alexander having watched my content on YouTube for years and having been previously recommended my content on YouTube. I now have even more data points, and it's really bad. A lot of people wrote to me with basically some version of this email that Lisa wrote to me. Lisa wrote to me yesterday and said, hey, David, just listen to the podcast where you spoke about the new algorithm for YouTube. I noticed last week that you were no longer on my homepage of YouTube, and I had to search for you. I have a subscription. So you did turn up on the subscription page. I've also noticed that The Majority Report, Kyle Kulinski, and other shows I watch are no longer on my homepage, despite me having subscriptions for a long time. My homepage is now filled with many things I don't watch or subscribe to, mainly balanced between parakeets, I don't even know what that is, and Cardi B. I'm so sorry that this is affecting your show financially. I love your show. Keep up the good work. Sadly, dozens of emails like this. And as I've said before, we know what the solution is here. We've got to disconnect the programming from being dependent on ad revenue. That's the solution. I've said before, I estimate under 1% of my audience funds the show directly through membership. If we can get from under 1% to 2%, we're in fantastic shape. If we can get to 3% of our audience supporting us directly, we have no more problems, period. I mean, we're talking about such small percentages that going from 0.8% to 2% or 0.8% to 3% is a game changer. So I believe this has to be a wake-up call. It doesn't have to be this show, okay? What I'm telling you is if there are programs that you like, that you want to see remain independent, that you want to see producing the content they believe should be produced, not what is going to be monetized by YouTube or other arbitrary algorithms, we need to support those shows directly if we can afford to do so. With my program, the way to do that is at joinpacman.com, okay? We have normal prices that I believe are very reasonable with a pay what you can afford model starting at $6 a month or $60 per year. However, I understand that's a lot of money for many people in the audience, and that's okay. We have discounts available. I mean, it's just take the discount if you want it. If you apply the coupon code, this is 2020 when you sign up, any membership is reduced by 40%. Okay. I'm going to say something even further today. There is an old coupon code, which we very briefly promoted, which we haven't been promoting, but because the situation is just so important right now, I'm going to give it out today. If you want a 50% discount, okay, which will get you down to $3 a month or $30 a year. $30 a year is like $280 a month, okay? The coupon code HALF19, HALF19, will drop any membership by 50%. We're not talking about a lot of money, but this is the way that we fix this problem. It's the way, it's the most direct way, and that's why I'm asking for your support. Please share this video using the share button on YouTube, because it's really important to get news of what's going on to as many people as possible. And yes, I know people are saying, hey, David, did you hear about X YouTuber who's seeing the same thing? Who's on the right, maybe? Did you hear about X YouTuber on the Y YouTuber on the left who's seeing the same thing? Yes, I'm in touch with a lot of those folks, and we are talking about this a lot. There's no question about it.